31 million passengers a year pass through Piccadilly Circus station without knowing what is hidden 22 metres beneath their feet. A subterranean hall from 1928 that erased one of London's finest architectural facades. Tunnels that sheltered 5,000 civilians a night during the Blitz. Service corridors no passenger has ever seen. And it all started in 1906 with a building London would soon choose to bury. In March 1906, Piccadilly Circus Station opened its doors with a striking presence above ground. Architect Leslie Green's surface building, clad in deep oxblood glazed terracotta, stood out at the heart of the West End. The facade, produced by Burton and Company, featured semicircular windows and a bronze underground sign, creating a landmark that welcomed passengers into a bright, modern ticket hall. Early photographs capture crowds passing beneath the iron canopy, the red tiles gleaming even in London's rain. Green's design was more than a stylistic gesture. It represented a new identity for the underground, bold, unified, and unmistakable. But by the early 1920s, the city had outgrown its station. Annual passenger numbers surged from 1.5 million in 1907 to 18 million by 1922. The original hall, with its 8 lifts and limited floor space, became a bottleneck. Board minutes from 1925 describe long queues spilling onto the pavement, raising both safety concerns and pressure for expansion. The solution required a radical rethinking of underground space. Instead of enlarging the building above, the London Electric Railway commissioned a new, fully subterranean ticket hall directly beneath the circus. This move would triple the ticketing area and introduce escalators, replacing the old lift system and allowing for continuous crowd movement. Construction began in 1925, led by Charles Holden. The new circular hall, completed in 1928, spans 40 metres in diameter beneath the junction. Its reinforced concrete dome, supported by 7 steel columns arranged in a radial pattern, created a spacious, fire-resistant cavern designed for efficiency and safety. The escalators became a defining feature, moving passengers rapidly between the surface and platforms. According to architectural historian Sarah M. Bell, this design established a new standard for crowd flow and urban transport architecture, even as it erased Green's iconic facade from the streetscape. The form and logic of the 1928 hall remains central to how millions navigate Piccadilly Circus today. The winter of 1940 brought a new reality to the tunnels beneath Piccadilly Circus. As bombs fell across London, the underground station became a nightly refuge for nearly 5,000 people. Official records from the Ministry of Health detail how families, workers and children carried bedding and belongings down escalators, settling in for long hours as the city shook above. Heavy steel blast doors, newly fitted at the entrances, sealed the circular ticket hall from the threat of shock waves and flying debris. The air was thick with the sense of damp clothing and candle smoke, punctuated by the distant rumble of explosions. On the night of December 7th, 1940, a high explosive bomb struck close to the station's surface, sending fragments through the surrounding buildings. The blast forced a 2-day closure, while engineers assessed the integrity of the concrete dome overhead. During those tense hours, the shelter's usual routines, distribution of tea, first aid care, and the quiet hum of conversation were replaced by the urgent work of reinforcing supports and checking for gas leaks. Passengers were diverted to other stations, and the hall was briefly used as a field hospital for the wounded. Beyond the main concourse, hidden corridors took on new roles. A section of staff tunnel was converted into a telephone exchange, its battery-powered switchboards ensuring communication between civil defence posts even when surface lines failed. Eyewitness testimony preserved by the Imperial War Museum describes the eerie calm underground, the drone of aircraft overhead, the flicker of torchlight, and the sense of temporary community among strangers. The station's adaptation during the Blitz revealed not only the strength of its engineering, but also the resilience of those who found shelter beneath the circus. Descending from the surface, the physical reality of Piccadilly Circus Underground reveals itself in layers of concrete, steel, and moving parts. The circular ticket hall sits 13 metres below the street, spanning 40 metres at its widest point. 7 steel columns, each over 1 metre thick, support a reinforced concrete dome 5 metres deep, an engineering solution designed for both crowd safety and fire resistance. Below this, the platforms extend down to an average depth of 22 metres, their tunnels bored to a standard internal diameter of 5.9 metres. This geometry shapes every movement underground, dictating the size of trains, the flow of air, and the pace of daily life. Escalators, each stretching 30 meters, move tens of thousands between the surface and platforms every day. The original lift shafts, sealed since 1928, now serve as service ducts and smoke extraction channels, hidden from public view but vital to the station's operation. Staff navigate a continuous loop of corridors tucked behind the platform tunnels, allowing engineers to reach any part of the station without crossing passenger areas. These passages link control rooms, power substations, and emergency exits, a concealed network that underpins public safety. Ventilation is managed by 4 main shafts, 2 for each line, pushing fresh air through the depths and maintaining the required 8 air changes per hour. Airflow figures from recent audits show each shaft moving between 1.15 and 1.22 cubic meters per second, a necessity for comfort and for clearing smoke in an emergency. Annual figures from Transport for London record 31.6 million entries and exits in the latest year, with peak flows of 2,500 people per hour on the Piccadilly Line and 1,800 on the Bakerloo. On weekends, night tube services keep the station running around the clock, with more than 5,400 train movements each month. The scale of this hidden machine is defined not just by its age or design, but by the relentless volume of people and the invisible infrastructure that keeps London moving beneath the circus. John R. Cox, a transport historian, calls the 1928 Circular Ticket Hall a landmark in urban engineering. With a theoretical capacity of 30,000 passengers per hour, the hall transformed London's ability to handle crowds, replacing the bottleneck of the old lifts with a design that kept the city moving. For Cox, this efficiency became a blueprint for transit spaces worldwide, shaping daily life for millions. Architectural historian Sarah M. Bell mourns what was lost. She points to the demolition of Leslie Green's oxblood tiled facade as a turning point, where practical needs eclipsed the city's architectural character. Bell believes the removal of Green's building fractured the visual unity of the underground. Now, only the subterranean hall is protected by Grade 2 listing, while the original surface landmark is gone. Engineers at Transport for London caution that installing new lifts would require cutting through the reinforced concrete dome, threatening the structure's integrity. The circular geometry and load-bearing columns, protected by the Grade 2 heritage status, leave little room for compromise. Historic England describes the 1928 hall as an asset of national importance, requiring any changes to preserve its circular form. These competing priorities, movement, memory, access, engineering, and heritage, lock Piccadilly Circus in a policy stalemate, shaping every future choice. Transport for London planners have outlined 3 main upgrade scenarios for Piccadilly Circus station, each with distinct costs and impacts. Scenario A proposes minor improvements, such as optimizing escalator speeds, which could boost peak capacity by around 5%. Scenario B involves building a new peripheral entrance connected by a shallow tunnel, offering a 15% increase in passenger flow. Scenario C is the most ambitious, calling for a lateral expansion of the circular ticket hall by excavating adjacent basements. This would deliver up to a 30% rise in capacity, but requires extensive heritage impact assessments. The feasibility budget for these options includes a contingency of £10 million for technical studies and risk management. To address heritage concerns, a separate grant of £2 million has been offered for digital displays and interpretation projects that would reconnect the public with Leslie Green's lost facade. Each scenario presents a clear trade-off between capacity, cost, and preservation. A balanced path forward calls for more than technical fixes or nostalgic gestures. Transport for London's planners, heritage bodies, and accessibility advocates have all made their cases, yet the central question remains unresolved. How can Piccadilly Circus adapt for the future without erasing its past? The most widely supported proposal is to pursue a new peripheral entrance, an approach that could ease congestion and provide step-free access, while sparing the historic circular hall from invasive construction. Real progress, however, depends on launching a formal stakeholder working group, bringing engineers, heritage experts, and user representatives to the same table. A detailed structural survey of the existing dome and escalator shafts is essential before any decision. The challenge is ongoing, preserve what makes the station unique, improve access for all, and ensure that every change is grounded in open, informed dialogue. The answer, for now, is not a single plan, but a commitment to keep asking the right questions beneath the circus. Beneath the constant rush of Piccadilly Circus, layers of hidden infrastructure still shape how London moves and remembers. As modernisation pressures intensify, each decision risks erasing physical traces of resilience and design. The future of these unseen spaces depends on choices made above ground, by planners and by public awareness.